Roger that.
Qu'est-ce que je représente? Qui je suis, putain? Va falloir que je me lève. Que je recommence à zéro.
Dive Bomber Squadron, airborne. Dive Bomber Squadron, take off. Target spotted. Attack target. Target hit.
C'est comme ça que ça se termine. Une balle dans la tête, deux balles dans le ventre.
We destroyed an enemy ship.
What is going on, guys? My name is BobLyn, aka PabLoon, and today we are featuring the new upcoming tech tree battleship in the US tech tree, the Hybrid BBs that remind us of a lot of the Kearsarge. These battleships are hybrid battleships that have Montana caliber guns. At least the Louisiana here has 406s, and there's 10 of them. This rear turret is a quad turret, and the front two ones are triple turrets. And they have a pretty good range if you spec for it. And along with that, you get dive bombers and fighters. So you can hear this is already pretty insane. Now, I am gonna be objective here and not, let my opinion come in while we are reviewing the stats. But when we get to the gameplay, I will talk about what I think of this. So let's get into this ship. And the Louisiana is a massive battleship, as you can see. It is a Louisiana class, not a Montana class. And you get 62,000 hit points. Along with that, you can sail 30 knots, which is actually not that bad. And you get, like I said, 10 main caliber guns. 2 different types of turrets. And here we see them. These are the triple ones. And in the rear, and we can see the massive flight deck. That is going to be a good spot to hit if you're a BB. And there's the rear gun. The guns are pretty good. I mean, there are 406s. They reload in 22 seconds. But you can see we get a rapid reload 1. And here we have the dive bombers. You have 2 squadrons under your command. There are 2 bombs per plane and 3 dive bombers per squadron. So that is, 6 bombs. That's pretty good. There's a 35% chance of setting a fire. And we have the fighters here, the F4U Corsairs. Very nice plane. And we have 6 fighters in total, so 2 squadrons we can send out, but there's only 1 under our command. And you see the AA here, 620 small caliber, 436 large caliber. This is insane. I don't know if this has to do with the update. Maybe they pre-made this really good. But I can tell you right now, with the DFA1, just that is absolutely insane. I have gotten multiple 40 plus plane kills in this thing. We have taken Advanced Gun Director for better range, because I would argue you should sit as far back as you can with this ship. It's a pretty good sniper platform, actually. We take dispersion, and we take propulsion and concealment. Now, concealment I feel like is pretty important on this, because sometimes you're going to just be sitting and using your planes and helping your CV, if there is one, to use fighters. We use Richard H. Best here, who is a CV commander, and we take the air defense expert here, the extra one, because it is really good AA. We take artillery maintenance expert, fire supremacy, and then we go for exploit weakness, because we are going to set fires with our bombs. Fully prepared. Then we have adrenaline rush, and we're going to take demo expert, master reloader for our rapid reload, and then we're going to get into the special skills, which is dauntless dive plus and death from above. Plus 25% citadel damage by bombs, which is a special skill. And I've only gotten 1 citadel on a cruiser, but it was nice to see, I guess. We'll get into my opinion on this ship later, but let's take a look at the gameplay I have here for you guys, so you can really see what this thing is capable of. So here we are, and I did play a ton of games in this, actually. And the reason I chose this game is because you get to see the AA. You get to see how good these guns can be without APCS, and you get to see the dive bombers in action. So we are playing on a counter, and there are 3 bots in this game, but from my memory, we actually don't really attack the bots, they're DDs. But I will say this right now, I have gotten multiple clips, and I'll show you guys one right now of a vampire just getting absolutely demolished by my planes. It was really not fun for him. It was pretty unfair. So let me just show you that to you guys.
Get spotted. Squadron airborne. Attack target. Negative.
So yeah, destroyers are not going to be liking this update because there are going to be so many more planes. This thing brings 3 in total, and you have quite a bit of tries. I mean, you have 21 dive bombers, as you can see, to start out with. And they are not as tanky. I have not looked into what type of dive bombers they are. I mean, the fighters are Corsairs, and it looks like they're SBDs, the other ones, the attack planes. But CV players out there will probably figure out if it's an SX or if it's midway bombers. But nonetheless, these bombers deal quite good damage, especially with this commander that I think a lot of people have. And the fighters themselves are American fighters, so they are pretty good. And trust me, if it gets really good with this ship, or insane, I should say, once you pair this with a CV. I've not divisioned up with a CV, but every time I've come in, you know, in a CV game and there's one on my team, I have tried to help him with my fighters and try to look what that CV sets on fire so I can follow up. And here we have Glider in the Colombo. I'm sorry, bro, but you were just the main target. There is also this Iowa pushing, and the thing that is so insane about this, if you ask me, is the fact that you have really fucking good guns and you also have midweight level dive bombers. It's a little bit too crazy, if you ask me. And we get another double fire on Glider. He was good at holding his DCP there, so I didn't actually get any damage over time damage on him, but we have to take care of this Iowa bot, and I forgot about this guy. He's obviously going to contribute a bunch of damage to us. I actually will say right now that before I start talking about how negative this is for the game, in my opinion, I will say right now that it is a fun ship to play if you are tired of CVs, because the AA on this bad boy is crazy, like I said. We are going to destroy a ton of planes in this game, and trust me, it's fun. We completely clipped that Iowa bot, and you saw those. I mean, this depends on this thing. This is without armor piercing cap shell. You saw that in the commander build. I'm not using APCS, and I have not tried it with APCS because I wanted to maximize the aircraft potential with this. It is very good aircraft, but you also have to be careful with them. The aircraft themselves can get destroyed really easily, and once you get those aircraft destroyed and you don't have any more, you're kind of a handicap BB because you have a massive flight deck that can be punished easily. So you're also not the hardest target to take down. I will say right now, my average damage in this was not very high. Most of my games were 50k, 30k, but I would have a lot of spotting medals. I would have a lot of support where, you know, you're spotting the DDs. If there's no CV in the game, you're the only one who has planes, which is quite powerful, and you can just hear this, how OP it is after we completely smack that Riga. We've gotten 2 citadels so far. It's not stopping here, guys. So along with really good guns and good dive bombers, I also talked about the AA. I have yet to find a CV or plane that I cannot shoot down with this thing, even without the DFAA going. I've not even tried an AA build yet, but I can imagine it's crazy. And the amount of planes you can shoot down is also quite good because you have fighters. And you can see here, these are my fighters versus his Manfred von Richthofen fighters. It is a close fight, but we actually end up winning this one, and I believe my fighters take the win. Oh, sorry. But the fighters are also really nice to have because you can actually protect your teammates. And what I like about this, and I will be completely honest, what I enjoy about this is you are not playing a CV per se, but you have the same capabilities of a CV, and you can actually impact the game as much as a CV can. Because you can make sure that even though the CV you have on your team, the carrier player that's on your team, is not good, he doesn't use his fighters properly, he doesn't spot properly, you have the opportunity with this ship to do that. And that is one thing I will say I enjoyed. This ship brings a lot of versatility in terms of carry potential, because the range is 15.50 kilometers with the build I'm running, and that's not bad. Here we also see the capabilities we have against the DD at close range. I of course have some help, but switching to HE in this thing ain't no bad idea, and I think we do that here. Yeah, we do, because we have a rapid reload. We get the first bomber on, and because it's this close range, we actually get our bombers back real quick, and that is super good against a Shimakaze like this, because the dive bomb precision with the commander we're using, Richard H. Best, yeah, Best is the guy from Midway. He was the dude who sank I don't know the story. Some of you guys probably do, but he sank like 2 CVs, or at least 1. He was in the Battle of Midway, and there's a movie about Midway where you can actually see the guy. It's a pretty good movie, I would say. I was quite surprised. Sometimes they flop, sometimes they're good. But you saw, you got his torpedo tubes, a fire, and a ton of damage, and we send another bomber out. And this Manfred here is, for some reason, not sending planes out. We've gotten 20 already, and we're not going to stop right there. Here comes the next squadron out, and we're going to see the AA in action here. I want you guys to watch the planes. We have 20 right now. I activate my DFA now, and here we go. So he might get some strikes in for sure, and he's going to do massive damage. Look at that, because he's hitting our flight deck. Good damage for him. But I destroy every single one of his planes. And it's just ticking up, because now the torpedoes are here, and the Shimakaze goes down, and now we just have a full health CV to smack. And we get 2 citadels. I mean, this thing, I don't think it's healthy for the game. If you just look at this, the amount of power one player can have, and this is gonna make tier 10 and tier 8 and 9 a very, very hard thing to deal with, because there's gonna be divisions where there's 2 of these hybrid BBs and there's 1 CV, and the amount of planes, if you have 2 Louisianas and 1 Franklin D. Roosevelt, or even a Nakhimov, just any CV for that matter, you have 4 extra dive bombers and 2 extra fighter squadrons, American fighter squadrons, to completely decimate a target. I haven't tried this yet, and I know I will try it at some point, but I'm scared to see what this does to high tier matchmaking. I do think this is a super fun and awesome experience for a guy who gets smacked by CVs all the time. It's fun to pay back, it's fun to hit back at them, because they can't do much. But is this good for the game? I really don't think so. I hope you guys learned something. I tried to be objective and positive about the ship and tell you guys what it's about, but I don't think this is healthy, like I said, and I don't know what to think of it. They are interesting ships for sure, and I will probably grind them at some point. They are great deterrents for enemy CVs, and look at this, 38 planes, 9 citadels, and 4 kills. Our bomb damage wasn't too high, 19k, but the total damage, 135, speaks for itself. So yeah, this is the Louisiana. Now obviously there are some drawbacks, the massive flight deck, and just being a completely huge BB overall. But you're an American BB, you have good fire resistance and flooding resistance, you have good AA, and I never quite felt that this thing took too much punishment. I don't know, it feels pretty tanky, and the guns are great. You can see all the AA turrets in the rear here. We're taking this spin around again so you can get a final look. But yeah, this was the video and the first look at Louisiana here. If you guys want to see the tier 9 and 8, please let me know and I'll show them off. Other than that, we'll show this off in streams, and I hope you guys have a great day. My name's been BobLyn, aka PabLoon, and I am signing out.